Hey everyone, welcome to Intuitive Vibes. Erica here. If you're new to the channel and you managed to go through some of my content and you find it to be helpful, resourceful for you, please be sure to hit the subscribe button because I do update my content often. And of course, to all of my existing subscribers, hey everybody, welcome back. Now in this video, what I wanted to talk about was why it's hard to let go of the narcissist. Now, I know everybody, but you're thinking, well, I let them go. I walked away. I broke up with them. They broke up with me. We're not even talking to each other. We're not seeing each other. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about physically letting go of the narcissist. I'm talking about emotionally, mentally, and in most cases, energetically letting go of the narcissist. Why it's so hard to really detach 100% from the narcissist. Now, if you have family members that are narcissists and you're trying to break free from that, obviously that's not going to be an easy feat because sometimes you do have to be around them. Sometimes you do have to stay in contact with them. And sometimes energetically, you do have to fulfill certain things, especially if you have been codependent on your narcissist. So if, for example, let's just say your mother's a narcissist and you spend most of your life being a codependent person in that dynamic, you still have that form of attachment with her. Narcissist or not, you still have an attachment with your parent who is the narcissist. So it's kind of hard to really completely release energetically, emotionally, and mentally from that particular individual because they've been in your life throughout all of your life. But it's not impossible. It's not impossible to create those boundaries, which is really what you were supposed to have. But unfortunately, people who have been in the dynamic with the narcissist have very weak boundaries. Because if the relationship, the dynamic lasted for a really long time, that means that your boundaries were not only weak, but they were weakened over time. The narcissist knew how to overstep those boundaries. They knew how to get around them. And they knew how to pretty much play mind games with you. They knew how to deceive you in ways that it was undetected. You really couldn't see the manipulation. You were too blinded. So you really couldn't understand what was going on. And because being in a codependent relationship, you relied on that particular person or people, it could be more than one, it was really hard to grasp the concept of the deception from the narcs. Now, if the narcissist is your family member, and let's just say primarily it's your parent or your parents, it could be both of them, it is hard to let go because you have an attachment with your parents. We all do. And at the end of the day, regardless of it, they're still your parents. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have the right or you should feel guilty for putting up those boundaries. You heard this saying, right? Love them from a distance. That's the saying that I live by. You love people from a distance, which means that you don't necessarily have to be in their environment. You don't have to feed them energy. You don't have to feed them anything. The only thing you have to do is just play your part, play your role. But of course, this is after you've gone through extensive healing, because once you have come to the conclusion that your relatives, your parents, people that have been in your life throughout all of your life, once you've figured out what it is they've been doing, and in most cases, a lot of people would find it unforgivable, but everybody's different. So I can't tell people what to do on that part. You have to heal. You have to basically get your help for yourself, because now everything that you have ever been taught, everything that you have gone through, you were brainwashed. You were mind fucked. I'm going to say it like that. Because now you are standing outside of yourself. You're standing outside of the dynamic and you're seeing things for what they are. And now you have to rewire everything that was put into your head, because manipulation, gaslighting, abuse, everything that we know is in the dynamic with the narcissist has been implemented in our brains. So now you have to get that crap out of your brain and rewire it to something more normal. Now, I primarily suggest if you're dealing with family that are narcissists and you cannot completely let go, you can't completely, because I'm not telling you toss your family in the trash, but hey, that's something you want to do, and that's on you. But I'm not saying, screw them. I'm saying go gray rock. Gray rock is probably the best thing that you can do because you are limiting your contact with these particular family members or this particular family member. You're limiting the access that they have because even though, like I said, they're your family, and even though they are the way they are and they do the things they do, at the end of the day, it's still your family. I'm not saying throw your mom or your dad in the trash. I'm not saying just forget them if something happens. Oh, well, that's on them. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is limit your access. Limit their access to you, okay? If it's not of extreme importance, then you want nothing to do with it. If it's not something to where it's an emergency, something has actually happened, then you want nothing to do with it. Because when you're dealing with narcissistic family members, when you're dealing with narcissistic environments within the family, it's nothing but betrayal, gossiping, scapegoating, selective behavior, selective abuse. It's just all types of unnecessary drama that none of us wants, none of us needs. So when it comes to your family, my best suggestion for you all is to put gray rock into effect. And believe it or not, you have people that have completely just cut their family off. They don't even bother with them. They don't bother with the parents. They don't bother with other family members. They don't bother with anyone. Now, when it comes to romantic relationships, the reason why it's hard to let go of your narcissistic ex is because, well, actually, there's quite a few reasons. I'm going to give you guys a few. One, you got no closure. After the whole devalue and discard, you were basically left to sit there and nothing. You were hurt, you were disrespected, you were disregarded, you were discarded. And they really did not give you any type of closure. They did not say to you, we are done. I don't want to be with you anymore. It's over. It is what it is. Rather, what did they do? They say, let's be friends. A lot of the time, a narcissist will try to tell you, let's be friends, because they want to leave that door open. They want to still have access to you because once they're bored with what they have, then they can find their way back to you. Because like I always said, you were never second grade. It was just they got bored, whatever the reason is, because everyone in a romantic relationship with a narcissist, everyone has gone through their own experiences. But they want to leave that door open. It's never over with a narcissist. And with them, what you need to understand is that they don't look at you as a human being. They don't look at you as a person. They look at you as their property, as an object. You're like a rag doll. Put you in the closet, and when they're ready to come play with you, they'll pull you back out. That's why they don't give you closure. Unfortunately, you're stuck with false hope. You're stuck with the idea of, there are two types of people that would do this, okay? Two types of people would do two types of different things. One would accept the friendship and live with the false hope that if I stay a friend, I can still be in their life and maybe possibly change their mind. Maybe they'll change in seeing that being with me is better. The other type is they won't accept the friendship, but they will give the narcissist their space in hopes that the narcissist will realize what it is they had and will come back. They will come back, especially if you're leaving that door open, but they won't come back a changed person. They'll come back still being who they are. And if you stay stuck in that area, you're not healing, you're not creating your own closure, you're pretty much just in limbo. And the narcissist knows this because, well, they check up on you too. If the narcissist has any kind of inkling, any kind of knowledge that you're not moving on with your life, that you're staying stuck in limbo, they're going to take their sweet time. They're going to do whatever it is they want to do because they know that you're sitting there waiting for them. They know they didn't give you any closure, and they know that they mind fucked you. So now they're going to be out there doing whatever, doing whoever, and you're going to be sitting there with the hopes of maybe they'll come back, maybe they'll realize that. No, they won't. They will come back. And when they do, the abuse will be worse, the tactics will be worse, and the discard will be even more worse. Narcissists do not know how to love. They don't know how to genuinely love people. They don't love themselves. They're not going to love you. Sounds harsh, but I believe in tough love. And I always give the truth. And that is the truth. It's hard to let them go because you didn't get any closure. Because you're still wondering, maybe. There's always that maybe. Whenever there's a maybe involved, there's always that. There's a possibility. It could be. Maybe this, maybe that. No, maybe my ass. They're not going to change. And if they know that you're sitting there waiting for them, trust me, they will come back to you. Oh, yes, they will. You'll get what you want with them coming back. But I'm going to tell you right now, it won't get better from there. Now, another reason why you cannot let them go is because you have developed a trauma bond with them. Okay? During your time with them, you have developed what's called Stockholm Syndrome. And Stockholm Syndrome is pretty much where a perpetrator holds someone captive against their own will. And because that perpetrator is demonstrating certain types of behaviors, demonstrating certain forms of what is perceived by the person being held captive as emotions, and for lack of a better term, love. So the perpetrator, though they're holding them captive, they're doing certain things to gain the person's trust. That person that's being held captive is trusting the perpetrator. So let's say, for example, a guy kidnapped a girl, and the guy is holding her hostage, but he is feeding her. He's letting her sleep in her own bed. He's giving her clothing. He's doing certain things that she is perceiving as emotions, that person being emotional. She's eventually developing feelings for the person that captured her. She's supposed to be afraid. She's supposed to be upset. She's supposed to be angry. She's supposed to be in survival mode and trying to break loose from the perpetrator. But in actuality, what she's doing is she's developing feelings for the perpetrator. That is the dynamic between a narcissist and their victim. The victim is not really seeing the abuse. They're not really seeing what's going on, the red flags, because they're too busy paying attention to all of the good stuff, all of the good emotions and the love and all that stuff that has been nothing but an illusion, because that was what the abuse was masked with. So though the narcissist has been abusive, manipulative, deceitful, they were giving little breadcrumbs of affection. And because you were taking these little breadcrumbs and piling them up and holding them near and dear to you, you find it hard to let go because you're thinking to yourself, but this was so real. I don't understand. How could this have happened? How could this person be this way? How could people like this even exist? I don't understand. And because you are in a state of not understanding that everything that has happened was in fact a ploy, it was not real, your mind is still physiologically attached to the narcissist. You are still in that stage of Stockholm. You're still in that stage of, I cannot believe that this person could be this way when they told me they loved me, when they showed me how much they loved me, when they put me on a pedestal, when they were so emotional with me and they were vulnerable with me. No, it was a facade. It was a ploy. And of course, energetically wise, you can't let them go because often people who have been discarded by a narcissist are in that stage of torment. And I say torment because oftentimes people will go and look at their narcissistic ex's social media or try to find out information, and they find out certain things that are still not computing. They find out that the narcissist was cheating. They find out that the narcissist is seeing someone else. They find out certain things. And when you are constantly, because you're tormenting yourself, you're giving the narcissist that energy. You're giving them thoughts. You're basically pushing everything that should matter to you to the back of your head, and you're putting the narcissist yet again on a pedestal. You're keeping them up here, front and center on your mind. And as a result of it, what do you end up doing? You end up reacting. You end up reacting in a way that is very emotional. You end up either contacting the narcissist and just becoming really abrasive because you're mad, you're angry, you didn't get closure, you got discarded, you got treated like shit, and yet here they are going about their business, living their life like if nothing happened, like if you didn't matter, and you're driving yourself crazy with it. And all you're doing is you're feeding them, because you're giving them the energy and you're giving them ammo, because what you're doing is you're giving them a reason to say, well, look, see, this person's crazy. Look at what they're doing. They know what they're doing because they are manipulating the dynamic. Even if they're not with you, they're manipulating the dynamic, but they are making it appear to everyone else that you are the reason why everything fell apart. So guys, just to give a little gist of it, reason why you can't let the narcissist go is because you're not allowing yourself to accept that they are a narcissist, accept that this is what they do, and you need to not walk but run the hell away in the other direction, because all they're going to continue doing, you can sit there with false hopes, and you can sit there with the idea of they're going to come back, they're going to realize that I'm a good person, they're going to realize that I love them and that I was willing to do anything for them. They know that. They know that you're a good person. They know that you were willing to do any and everything for them, and they know that you loved them. The reality of it is they don't care as long as they get what they want. And if you continue to leave that door open, they're going to continue to just take and take and take, no matter how much manipulation they have to use. So what do we have to do? Accept. Close the door. Start your healing. Start your healing. They've already shown you who they are. And for those who've only gone through it at least just once and have decided, I'm not dealing with this ever again, I'm going to pay very close attention, congratulations. You learned your lesson, and now you get to do what it is you need to do further along the line with your next relationships. And for those who continue to go back into the cycles, continue to go back to the same people, continue to go back to the same narcissist, you got to cut them off. Seriously, you have to cut them off, because they're just going to cause way more damage. And I don't care if it's family, I don't care if it's relationships. Cut them off. You deserve better. You know you deserve better, and you know you can get better. Don't let them ruin what the rest of your life can be. Well, guys, that's my time. I do hope that you all enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And for everyone who is not in this stage, if you're not in this stage, if you still want to watch the video, that's fine. But if you're not in this stage and you've already learned your lesson and you have been moved on, then this is just pretty much for people that are still in that can't let go stage, whether it be emotionally, energetically, or mentally. So guys, I'm going to be working on my next video. Until next time, namaste.